Are you ready to uncover the secrets behind the sexiest masculine act that captures a woman's attention? Imagine understanding the subtle yet powerful behaviors that naturally draw women in, those masculine traits women find attractive without even realizing it. From the calm confidence exuded in moments of silence to the quiet strength in handling adversity, these are not just actions but a way of life that women can't resist. In this journey, you'll explore what truly makes a man stand out in a crowd and how these traits align with the timeless principles of Stoicism. Discover what women find attractive in men, how to embody these qualities effortlessly, and transform your dating life. If you've ever wondered how to attract women or sought authentic dating advice for men, this is your gateway to a deeper understanding of masculine allure. Dive in, and let's redefine what it means to be irresistibly attractive. If you find value in our journey together, show your support by hitting the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to The Stoic Goddess. Let's continue exploring the art of attraction and self-mastery. Scenario 1. Physical beauty. A handsome man, the kind who turns heads without even trying, is out walking his dog. As he strolls through the park, a woman catches sight of him. Her heart skips a beat. How could it not? His chiseled features and confident stride are magnetic, almost too good to be true. She's instantly captivated by his looks, drawn in by the initial rush of attraction. But here's the twist. Is this attraction enough to build something lasting? Studies from evolutionary psychology and the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology suggest otherwise. While women might be inclined to choose better-looking men for short-term flings, they don't necessarily prioritize looks when it comes to long-term relationships. This raises an intriguing question. Why do we place so much emphasis on physical appearance if it isn't the key to enduring love? Imagine the scenario unfolds further. They exchange glances, perhaps even a smile, and for a moment the world seems full of possibilities. But as they continue their walk, she begins to wonder, what lies beneath those stunning looks? Is he kind, intelligent, and emotionally stable? Or is he someone who relies solely on his appearance to get by? This situation isn't unique. It's a common experience shaped by societal norms and our evolutionary history. The initial spark of attraction is powerful, but it's often fleeting. We live in a world where visual appeal is celebrated, yet it's the depth of character that ultimately sustains a relationship. What happens when the glow of physical beauty fades? Are there deeper connections to hold on to? Stoic philosophy encourages us to look beyond the surface, to seek out the virtues that truly matter in a partner. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In the context of relationships, this could mean that the qualities we nurture, kindness, integrity, resilience, are far more important than the fleeting allure of good looks. A handsome face might grab attention, but it's the character that holds it. A man who is considerate, compassionate, and committed can offer much more than just an attractive appearance. The woman in our scenario might initially be drawn in by his looks, but as she gets to know him, it's his actions, values, and personality that will determine if they're truly compatible. Science backs this up. Studies indicate that while physical attraction plays a role in the early stages of a relationship, it's shared values, emotional stability, and mutual respect that keep couples together. This doesn't mean looks are irrelevant. They can be the spark that lights the fire, but they're not the wood that keeps it burning. In the end, the question isn't whether good looks matter. They do to an extent. But are they the most important thing? The answer is no. The real challenge and the real reward comes in looking beyond the surface to find someone whose inner qualities match their outer appeal. Scenario 2. Challenging self-esteem. Buy me a drink. You're at a bar and you decide to approach a woman. As soon as you strike up a conversation, she asks you to buy her a drink. What's your move? Most guys might instinctively reach for their wallets, eager to please the attractive woman in front of them. But here's the twist. Doing so could actually lower her respect for you. Why? Because it sets a precedent that you're willing to pay for her attention, turning the interaction into a transactional exchange rather than a genuine connection. Instead, consider responding with something playful yet firm, like, "Sure, I'll buy you a drink if I find you interesting." Or, "Does that usually work with other guys?" These responses not only decline her request but also keep the interaction lighthearted and fun, showing her that you're not just another guy willing to do anything for her attention. This approach isn't about being stingy or rude. It's about establishing boundaries and maintaining self-respect. When you confidently hold your ground, you convey that your time and resources are valuable, which naturally increases her respect and attraction toward you. You're demonstrating that you're not just there to impress her, but to genuinely connect on a deeper level. From a Stoic perspective, this is a perfect example of controlling what you can, your actions and reactions, while not being swayed by external validation. Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and that we should not be overly concerned with others' opinions. In this situation, you're not rejecting the woman. You're simply not allowing your worth to be determined by whether or not she accepts a drink from you. Moreover, this tactic plays into a psychological principle known as scarcity. When something is perceived as less available, it's often seen as more valuable. By not immediately agreeing to buy a drink, you're subtly signaling that your attention and resources are not freely given, making them more desirable. But let's take a step further. What if this interaction is a test? Perhaps she's gauging your confidence, seeing if you'll fold under pressure. In dating culture, where confidence and assertiveness are often prized traits, how you handle this moment can set the tone for the entire interaction. A man who can playfully deflect such a request shows that he's self-assured and not easily manipulated. Scientific studies suggest that women are generally more attracted to men who exhibit confidence and assertiveness, traits often associated with higher social status and greater success. These qualities suggest that you have the emotional intelligence to navigate complex social situations, a trait that's highly valued in relationships. So next time you find yourself in a similar situation, remember this. The way you respond can either elevate or diminish her perception of you. Will you choose to be just another guy trying to win her favor with a drink? Or will you stand out as someone who knows his worth and isn't afraid to show it? Scenario 3. Leadership challenge. The expensive date request. Now, let's address a common scenario. You're dating someone new, and she suggests going to a high-end restaurant for your first date. Nothing wrong with that, right? But what if she insists that only an expensive dinner will do? It's time to stand your ground. There's nothing wrong with treating a woman to a luxurious meal if that's what you truly want and can afford. However, if her interest hinges solely on the price tag, it's a red flag. Here's where leadership comes into play. Propose a different plan. Maybe suggest grabbing coffee at a cozy cafe or enjoying a simple dinner at a local spot. By doing this, you're showing that you won't be manipulated by superficial demands and that your self-worth isn't tied to materialistic displays. You're testing whether she's interested in you as a person or just the lifestyle she thinks you can provide. Remember, a woman who truly values you will appreciate your company, not just your wallet. So, ask yourself, when faced with a tough situation, do you lead with clarity and purpose, or do you falter? From a Stoic perspective, leadership is about remaining steadfast in your values regardless of external pressures. What kind of man do you want to be? Leadership is not just about grand gestures or being in charge. It's about guiding your own life with purpose and ensuring that your actions reflect your true values. When you embody these qualities, not only will you attract women, but you'll also become the best version of yourself, a man who is respected, admired, and above all, in control of his destiny. In a dating scenario, this translates to not allowing the desire for approval or fear of rejection to dictate your actions. You lead by example, demonstrating that your decisions are guided by principles, not by the whims of others. According to social psychology studies, women are more attracted to men who display assertive and confident traits, both of which are signs of strong leadership. But this is not about domination or control. It's about inspiring trust and respect. A man who can overcome life's uncertainties with composure and foresight will naturally attract others to him. Scenario 4. Let's get to know each other first. You're chatting with a woman you've been interested in for a while. When you ask her out, she responds, "Let's get to know each other first before we meet." Many men would simply agree, fearing they might upset her or lose her interest. But here's the reality. You'd be making a big mistake. Imagine this scenario. You've been exchanging messages, everything seems to be going well, and then this curveball comes your way. How do you respond? The truth is, if you continue to engage in endless texting without any clear intention, you're likely to end up in the just a friend zone. This isn't about rushing things or being pushy. It's about setting clear boundaries and demonstrating that you value your time. From a Stoic perspective, it's essential to understand that time is the most precious resource you have. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often emphasized the importance of not wasting time on trivial pursuits. Similarly, in modern dating, endless texting without the goal of meeting in person can be seen as a waste of time that could be spent on building a real connection. Now, let's break this down psychologically. Studies show that the longer you delay a face-to-face meeting, the more likely you are to idealize the other person, which can lead to disappointment when you finally meet. By suggesting a quick, casual meetup like grabbing coffee or taking a walk in the park, you're not only being respectful of both your time but also avoiding the trap of unrealistic expectations. But how do you navigate this without coming off as too forward or dismissive of her comfort? Here's a script. I totally get that you want to get to know each other better. Honestly, I feel the same. But I think the best way to really see if we click is by meeting up for a quick coffee or a casual walk. No pressure, just a chance to see if there's something worth exploring further. This approach is assertive yet considerate, and it sets the stage for a more genuine connection. You're not pushing her into anything she's uncomfortable with. You're simply expressing your desire for a more meaningful interaction. If she's genuinely interested, she'll appreciate your initiative and the clear direction you're providing. So, next time you find yourself in this situation, remember that setting boundaries isn't about being rigid. It's about valuing your time and the connection you're hoping to build. By taking the lead and suggesting a real-life meeting, you're not only respecting yourself, but also showing her that you're someone worth investing time in. Scenario 5. Surrounded by flashy things. Attending a party, you notice a shiny, luxurious car pulling up. A man steps out in a sharp suit, exuding confidence. Instantly, heads turn and conversations shift to whispers about his identity. Why does wealth wield such influence? A study published in the journal Evolution and Human Behavior indicates that women are often attracted to men who display signs of wealth because it signals potential for security and stability. A flashy car or luxurious apartment represents more than just material objects. They symbolize success, ambition, and the capacity to provide. These qualities are linked to survival and prosperity at a fundamental evolutionary level. However, from a Stoic perspective, the pursuit of luxury might be seen as a distraction from genuine fulfillment. Stoicism teaches that true contentment comes from within, not from external possessions. Philosopher Epictetus famously said, "Wealth is not having a lot of things, but having a little of what you want." This raises the question, is the relentless pursuit of material wealth a misguided attempt to fill an inner void. The crux of the matter is what truly makes a person attractive. Is it transient wealth, or are there enduring qualities that cannot be purchased? Scientific research supports the idea that our attachment to material possessions is complex. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research reveals that while material possessions may offer short-term happiness, they often fail to provide lasting satisfaction. Instead, meaningful relationships and personal achievements contribute to a more enduring sense of fulfillment. Ultimately, the real question is not just what women desire, but also who you choose to be. Would you rather be admired for what you own or respected for who you are? The answer lies not in the car you drive or the apartment you live in, but in the strength and integrity of your character. Scenario 6. Handling offensive behavior. Pranks can be fun and build camaraderie, but there's a clear distinction between playful teasing and outright insults. If someone crosses that line, especially when targeting something you're passionate about or involving your friends, it's important to speak up. Address the behavior in a calm but assertive manner by saying something like, "I don't appreciate you talking to me like that," or "I don't give you permission to speak to me that way. These are my friends and this is my job." Setting these boundaries demonstrates that you won't tolerate disrespect. Many people are understandably hesitant to confront such behavior for fear of making the other person uncomfortable. However, allowing someone to disrespect you without consequences only diminishes their respect for you. Respect is non-negotiable, whether it's your first date or you've been together for years. Scenario 7. Dealing with a flaky girl. Imagine you've planned a fun evening out with someone, let's call her Ava. Everything seems set until, at the last minute, Ava calls or texts to cancel. It's frustrating, especially if it's not the first time. Ava might offer a genuine excuse like an unexpected work commitment or a forgotten obligation. You're tempted to get angry, but pause for a moment. What's the best way to handle this situation with grace and assertiveness? Firstly, it's crucial to remain calm and collected. Losing your temper won't help and might even push Ava further away. Instead, respond with a message like, "I understand things come up. No hard feelings. However, my time is valuable, and I hope that going forward you'll respect that." This approach is not only composed, but also communicates that while you're understanding, you have boundaries that need to be respected. It's a blend of self-respect and clear communication. By staying calm, you avoid escalating the situation and show that you value yourself. By stating your needs clearly, you let Ava know that your time is precious. This balanced response aligns with the principles of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes controlling our reactions and maintaining inner peace in the face of external challenges. Moreover, this approach can lead to a more honest relationship. Ava might realize that flaking has consequences and could become more reliable. Alternatively, if she continues to disregard your time, it's a clear signal to reconsider the relationship. This way, you make room for people who genuinely appreciate your company and time. It's not just about this one interaction, but about setting a precedent for how you want to be treated in all your relationships. Your time and emotional well-being are worth protecting, and by handling such situations with dignity, you pave the way for more meaningful and respectful connections. Scenario 8. Establish clarity in the relationship. You've recently started dating someone new and things look promising. However, one small detail is causing a storm in your mind. Your partner is still in contact with their ex. It's a situation that can evoke feelings of insecurity and uncertainty. So how should you deal with this concerning issue? First of all, it's important to understand that staying in touch with an ex isn't always a red flag. However, it can sometimes indicate unresolved emotions. The best approach is to have an open conversation about it. Sit down with your partner and calmly express your discomfort about the situation. Setting boundaries doesn't mean demanding change. It's about sharing your feelings and understanding each other's perspectives. Maybe their ex is still an important part of their life, and that's okay. What's crucial is mutual respect and understanding. If they value you, they will be willing to discuss and find a solution that works for both of you. How you handle this situation can either build or break trust. By approaching the problem with empathy, openness, and clear communication, you can overcome this challenge effectively. Mutual respect and understanding are key. Scenario 9. The clothing dilemma. Imagine this scenario. You're deeply in love with an amazing woman. You admire her intelligence, her humor, and the way she lights up a room. But lately, you've noticed something that's been gnawing at you. She's been posting revealing photos online or stepping out in outfits that to you seem a little too daring. You feel a pang of discomfort, maybe even jealousy. And here's where the dilemma begins. What should you do? It's easy to feel conflicted in such a situation. On one hand, she has every right to express herself, to dress as she pleases, and to share that with the world. On the other, you can't help but feel uneasy, wondering if others might be seeing more of her than you're comfortable with. This isn't about control. It's about how these actions affect your emotions, your relationship, and the trust between you two. Let's acknowledge an important truth. She has autonomy over her body and her choices. So, how do you navigate this situation? Open communication is key. Instead of letting these feelings fester, sit down with her and express your concerns. Be honest, but also be kind. Use I statements to focus on your feelings rather than making accusations. I feel uneasy when you post those pictures because it makes me worry about how others might perceive you. It's essential to approach this conversation with empathy and without judgment. Remember, she might not see things the same way you do, and that's okay. Ask her how she feels about it. Why does she choose to dress or share herself in this way? Is it a form of self-expression, a confidence boost, or simply something she enjoys? Understanding her perspective can help you both find common ground. If she values your relationship, she'll likely take your feelings into consideration. But what if she doesn't want to change her behavior? Here's where it gets tricky. Relationships are about compromise, but they're also about respecting each other's boundaries. If this issue becomes a recurring source of tension, it might be time to reassess your compatibility. Can you accept her choices as part of who she is, or does it create an ongoing conflict in your relationship? Scenario 10. The clinger. Your girlfriend wants to spend every waking moment with you, leaving little room for personal activities or time with your friends. While this can be a sign of deep affection, it might also make you feel suffocated. Many guys avoid addressing such issues, fearing they'll upset their partner. They bottle up their feelings until they eventually explode, leading to arguments or even breakups. The key is simple. Communicate your boundaries calmly and confidently. Yes, it might upset her for a moment, but it's essential for a healthy relationship. Take a step back and think about it. Why do we hesitate to set boundaries in relationships? Is it fear of conflict, of disappointing someone we care about, or perhaps the anxiety that setting limits might make us seem less loving? The answer often lies in the misconception that love means constant togetherness. But in reality, even the most loving relationships require breathing room. Think of it like a garden. If every plant grows too close together, they compete for resources, and none can thrive. Similarly, in a relationship, if there's no space for individuality, both partners might feel stifled. But how do you convey this without sounding distant or uncaring? This is where Stoic philosophy can offer some guidance. The Stoics believed in the importance of inner peace and self-control, teaching that we shouldn't be swayed by external forces, including emotions like guilt or fear. In this context, setting boundaries is an act of self-preservation, not selfishness. It's about maintaining your sense of self within the relationship. If she really cares about you, she will understand your need for space and respect your boundaries. The importance of boundaries in a relationship. Imagine you are in a relationship where everything feels perfect, except for that gnawing sense that something is off. You love your partner, and they love you, but there's a discomfort you can't quite pinpoint. Is it the way they make decisions without consulting you? Or maybe it's how they expect you to be available 24/7, not realizing you need time for yourself. These feelings aren't unusual. They're a sign that your boundaries are being tested. But what exactly are boundaries? And why are they so crucial in relationships? Boundaries aren't walls built to keep your partner out. They're lines drawn to protect your emotional and mental well-being. They define what you find acceptable and what crosses the line. The importance of boundaries can't be overstated. They're essential for maintaining a balance between intimacy and independence, ensuring that both partners feel respected and valued. In a society where blending lives often means compromising on personal space, the concept of boundaries can sometimes be misunderstood. Does setting boundaries mean you don't trust your partner? Does it suggest that you're trying to keep them at arm's length? On the contrary, healthy boundaries foster trust by clearly outlining each person's needs and expectations. They're not about keeping distance. They're about creating a space where both people feel safe and understood. If you don't communicate your boundaries, how will your partner know what's important to you? How will they understand that you need alone time to recharge, or that certain topics are off limits because they bring up past pain? Without boundaries, small issues can snowball into major conflicts, and resentment can build as one person feels suffocated or the other feels neglected. From a Stoic perspective, boundaries are an expression of wisdom. They are a recognition that each person must maintain their inner tranquility. In relationships, this means acknowledging that you can't control your partner's actions, but you can control your own responses. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's about saying, "This is what I need to stay centered and at peace." Research supports the importance of boundaries. Studies show that couples who respect each other's boundaries report higher satisfaction in their relationships. According to the Gottman Institute, a leading research organization on relationships, couples who establish clear boundaries are better equipped to manage conflict and maintain a strong emotional connection. How to set effective boundaries. Imagine you're sitting across from someone you deeply care about. The conversation is pleasant, but there's a lingering tension. You feel it, the need to establish a boundary, a line that defines your comfort zone. But how do you articulate it without sounding harsh or creating distance? This is where the art of setting boundaries comes into play, and it's a crucial skill in maintaining healthy relationships. But let's dive deeper. What if setting these boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself, but also about fostering respect and mutual understanding? In life, boundaries are not walls. They are bridges that lead to stronger connections when set with clarity and compassion. Picture this. You've been feeling overwhelmed by a friend's constant need for attention. You love them, but the demands are draining you. How do you convey your feelings without damaging the relationship? According to Stoic philosophy, boundaries are a form of self-care and respect for both yourself and others. It's about recognizing your own limits and expressing them with calm and reason. The Stoics believed that our power lies in how we respond to situations, not in the situations themselves. So, when you set a boundary, it's not about controlling the other person. It's about taking control of your own emotional well-being. 1. Start with clarity. Be direct and honest about what you need. For example, say, "I really value our friendship, but I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed. I need some time to recharge, and I hope you can understand that." This statement is clear, respectful, and opens the door for understanding rather than conflict. 2. Consistency is key. Once you've established a boundary, Stick to it. This doesn't mean being rigid, but rather being firm in your needs. If you set a boundary, but then repeatedly allow it to be crossed, you send mixed signals, and the other person may not take your needs seriously. Consistency builds respect and reinforces the importance of your boundaries. 3. Respect is a two-way street. When setting boundaries, consider the other person's feelings as well. You might say, "I understand that you might feel hurt or confused, and that's not my intention. I just need some space to be at my best." This approach shows empathy, making it easier for the other person to accept your boundaries. 4. But what about compromise? In a healthy relationship, it's essential. Setting boundaries isn't about creating strict lines that can't be crossed. It's about finding a balance that works for both parties. For instance, if your partner needs more time with you, but you need alone time, you might agree on specific days dedicated to each other's needs. This compromise respects both your boundaries and theirs. So why is it so hard to set boundaries? Often it's the fear of rejection or conflict. But what if instead of seeing boundaries as barriers, we saw them as opportunities for growth? What if setting a boundary was the ultimate act of love, for yourself and for the other person? In conclusion, setting boundaries isn't just a skill, it's a necessity for emotional health and relationship longevity. Approach it with clarity, consistency, respect, and a willingness to compromise, and you'll find that these lines you draw are not divisive, but rather the foundation of deeper, more meaningful connections. In conclusion, embracing these 10 masculine actions not only elevates your confidence, but also aligns with the timeless principles of Stoicism: strength, resilience, and self-control. These traits, when practiced with intention, naturally attract women as they embody the essence of what women find attractive in men. Remember, the sexiest masculine act is not about superficial gestures, but about cultivating a strong character that resonates with authenticity. If you're on a journey to discover more about how to attract women and want deeper insights into masculine traits women find attractive, you're in the right place. Your support means the world to us, so please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to The Stoic Goddess, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more valuable content. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't hesitate to share them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep embodying the best version of yourself, and continue to explore the profound wisdom of Stoicism.